Hi everybody, we're in Independence, Missouri today, and we're checking out the gravesite of Granville Hedrick. You may remember we've talked about all the different denominations within the Restoration movement. The one that owns the temple lot is called Church of Christ Temple Lot, but they're also known as Hedrickites because Granville Hedrick was one of the founders and the first leader of that church. We also visited one of the break-offs from Church of Christ Temple Lot called Church of Christ with the Elijah Message. But I had no idea, I'm also not surprised, but I had no idea that he's buried here in Independence. I am surprised that it's just right here. This is the intersection of Salisbury Road and US Highway 24. I've driven by here a million times. I never noticed that you have all these headstones. This is the, on Google, it says that this is the Hedrick Cemetery. I don't know much about it. I don't know if it's just family members, but oh, here it is. This is Granville Hedrick's his gravesite right here. Let's see. Granville Hedrick died October 22nd, 1881, aged 61 years, 11 months, 20 days. And then it says Hedrick at the bottom. Wow. This is crazy. Sorry, let me just take this in for a minute. I don't know the first time in my life that I've heard the term Hedrickites, but I know it was before I moved here to Independence, possibly even before I got married. I've always known that you have other denominations within the Restoration, and I've always known that there's the different ites, you know, Josephites, Cutlerites. It's just that at the time when I probably heard this name for the first time, it didn't really mean much to me, so I quickly forgot it. But now that I live here and I'm just like putting all these pieces together in my mind, it's just, I don't know, it's stunning. Let's take a look at some of the other spots over here. I am starting to put together timelines on my spreadsheet. So if you didn't know, in the link or in the description box of each video, I have a link for my church sites map. It's like a Google Maps with all my place markers. And then I also have a link to my spreadsheet. And I have these for you so you can use them as a resource as you're visiting church sites. So please make sure to check that out. But on the spreadsheet, I want to expand it and start adding other information aside from just locations of church sites. I want to include these quotes and stories that I've found in some of these other videos. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to like format everything, so give me some time. But I also want to put together timelines, and I have one right now. This is specifically for Granville Hedrick. So if you go to the spreadsheet right now and you look at the tabs at the bottom, just go to the one that says Granville Hedrick. Okay, so he joined the church when Joseph Smith was still alive in 1843. So relatively speaking, you know, he wasn't like an early church member. This was the Nauvoo period. So he joined the church, and then 1857 in April, he led the Crow Creek, Illinois branch. Okay, so after Joseph Smith was martyred, most followed Brigham Young, but then you also had a bunch of unaffiliated branches of the church that didn't know what to do. So he became leader of that branch. And then in May of 1863, Elder John E. Page, who was an apostle in our church, a member of the Quorum of the 12, I guess he did not follow Brigham Young. I know I've heard that name before, but anyway, he ordained Granville Hedrick, David Judy, Jedediah Owen, and Adna C. Haldeman, if that's how you pronounce it, to the priesthood office of apostle. So I guess he thought he had the authority to do that. And then the next month, John E. Page nominated Hedrick to become the new president of the high priesthood, which would also be the seer, revelator, and translator. Sorry, prophet, seer, revelator, and translator. Okay, and then a little bit later, Hedrick says that he was receiving revelations and that there shouldn't be that position, like, you know, president of the church. And so, but that there should be, let me see, let me find my spot again. He said that there should be a presiding elder, and that's how things were until 1925. By that time he had passed away. We just read he died 1881, so 1925, Church of Christ Temple Lot got rid of presiding elder. As of right now, all that I really know is that they do have 12 apostles, or that's what there should be. At the moment, the last I checked, just like a couple weeks ago, they only have 9. They're waiting to fill those other 3 spots. So right now they're at 9, but normally there would be 12 apostles, and none of them are like a senior apostle or anything like that. Okay, and then April 24th, 1864, that's when a revelation was received instructing the church to return to Independence, Missouri. October 11th, 1865, Granville's brother, John A. Hedrick, purchased property in Independence along with 2 other families. And from what I've seen, it seems that these were the first quote-unquote Mormons to return to Independence since the expulsion. And then it wasn't until a couple years later, February 1867, 60 Hedrickites came in covered wagons and returned to Independence. And then Granville Hedrick himself came in either late 1868 or sometime in 1869. And then I'm a little bit confused about when the temple lot was purchased. I saw one thing that suggested that it was in 1877. The more like official reference that I have comes from the RLDS publication called Journal of History, Volume 4, page 55. I need to double check it, but it says that the temple lot that Church of Christ Temple Lot owns was purchased in 1882. So I need to see if I can find some other sources to nail that down. But that's what I have so far. Next time that we come here, I'm going to try and find out some more information. Maybe find some quotes, stories, additional facts. But to me, this is just crazy that, you know, I'm here at this gravesite. I guess it's crazy because when you hear these different names and locations in church history or tangential church history like this, they kind of just like, it's almost like they're fictional. And I've said this before on the channel, even places like Independence, Clay County, Jackson County, Caldwell County, Far West. When I was younger, like a teenager reading the scriptures, I tried to picture what these places were like, and it was almost just like reading any story, any, you know, fictional book. You come up with an image in your mind of what that location looks like. But in the case of, you know, reality, non-fiction, you don't really know unless you know, you see pictures or you visit that location. But especially once you visit the location, I don't know, it becomes real. It's like it brings you closer to the reality of that site and its history. So for me today, I guess what I'm saying is that Granville Hedrick is now even more real to me. I have a better picture, I guess, of who he is and where he ended up. You know, he was a real person. It's this church that he led that ended up purchasing the temple lot. And that story is still ongoing. It's not complete. We're still waiting for a temple to be built there. A number of groups are waiting for a temple to be built there. And this man played a key role in that. So anyway, there's like a thing poking out right here that has thorns on it. Ow. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy tracking down sites like this with me and learning a little bit more. I'll talk to you guys later.